Hi, I'm Kevin from Personal Finance Lab and How the Market Works, and this is a quick introduction of our new budgeting game. So with our new budgeting game, we've been developing this over the last couple of years with a huge number of teachers and educators from across the country. Some teachers seeing this might have actually been involved in some of our early demos and beta versions of the game, but we have a full version coming out for this January, and we are really excited to share it. So with our game, we have this set up so your students take on the role of a college student with a part-time job. This means that they're going to have variable income each month because it's a part-time job. They're not always going to get the same number of hours each week, but they're also going to have a lot of variable expenses. So it's not just the bills they're going to have to pay, it's all the other stuff that comes up during the month. You need to buy some new clothes, or you got a flat tire that you're going to have to address. We put a lot of emphasis on having students understand their cash flow. That way, not only are they setting savings goals at the beginning of each month, knowing exactly what bills they're going to have to pay, but they also are going to have to learn how to adjust to accommodate all those unexpected expenses that always pop up. So, for the first couple of months of the game, students are going to be setting budget goals that they're seeing they're not going to be able to hit very well, and they're going to need to learn how to adjust all of their other spending accordingly. We also give students a credit card, and so they need to understand how to use that credit card responsibly, both to build their credit score and to make sure all their bills get paid on time. So let's jump in to look at how it actually works. Students start at the budgeting game with $700 in their checking account and $300 in their savings account. By default, the game goes for 12 virtual months. Each virtual month takes about 20 minutes to complete. But as the teacher, you can actually have a lot of control of that. You can say it goes longer, it goes shorter, however much class time you can actually dedicate to the project over the course of the semester. So when a student first starts to play the game, they're going to get prompted to make a bunch of choices about what kinds of bills they're going to have to pay. Now, you as the teacher get to have a lot of say in what these are going to be. So for example, this middle option here is going to be what you set to be the main bill for your class. But for most of their bills, students have an option to go a little bit lower so they can save a little bit of money, or a little bit higher, which is going to be earning them extra points in the game to reflect that they would get some extra benefits from having more expensive perks. These are based on percentages, so whatever you set, all the other options go around that. Students can also change their settings later. So for example, if they move into one place at the beginning of the game and realize they can't quite afford that rent each month, they will have the option to break their lease and move somewhere cheaper, but they're going to have to pay a fee to break that lease. So we put a lot of decision-making emphasis right into the game. So as the students choose several of the other options they have, like their TV and internet plan, what kind of cell phone plan are they going to get, and how much are they going to be spending on groceries each month, then they're taken into the actual budget game itself. So the way it works is students roll a dice to progress through the game, and then every couple of days in the game, something happens, usually an unexpected expense they didn't see coming. So for in this case, there's a dental cleaning that I need to pay for, and for each expense students have, they need to choose if they're going to use their debit card, which comes straight out of their checking account, or their credit card, which means they're going to put it on credit and they'll have to pay for it later. Students can build up their credit score by using their credit card responsibly, but their credit score will take a big hit if they're not able to pay their bills on time. Throughout the game, students will also get paychecks at the end of each week, so based on the number of hours they got at their job, we do deduct all the appropriate taxes. You, as the teacher, can also set things like your state income tax rate to properly reflect how this actually works in the real world. Students are encouraged to move money from their checking account to their savings account. They earn bonus points in the game by moving at least 10% of their paycheck into their savings account after each paycheck. They can also review their credit card summaries at any time, showing all of their expenses and the amount owed. They can make payments on it. If they don't make payments in a timely fashion, then they start incurring interest. Students also get bills in the mail every few weeks, depending on which utility is coming up. They also can choose how they're going to be spending their weekend. So they are a part-time student, so they have a choice of what they're going to do. So for example, they can work extra hours of their job. That'll earn a little bit extra money and make their budget a little easier to manage. They can spend time with their friends and socialize. This will earn a lot of bonus points because we use the points metric as kind of the catch-all for something that's not necessarily a financial transaction. They can take care of their household chores. So taking care of their household chores, is coupon clipping, cleaning up, recycling, all that kinds of stuff. They can actually save quite a bit of money on their groceries by taking care of their chores regularly. Or they can spend time studying, so actually joining a study session, preparing for their exams and things. Now, when we did our first testing, we found that students always were trying to work extra hours, but that isn't always the best way to earn extra money. So for example, Students who want to earn extra money using their part-time job are going to get a mini game where they're actually asked to wait tables, because their part-time job in this scenario is that they are working at a cafe. Every time they serve a table, they earn a little bit extra money and a little bit extra tips if they do it quickly. They are deducted taxes when they do this, and so they'll see that breakdown, and then when they finish this game here, the amount of money that they earned extra for the working is going to appear in their paycheck at the end of the week. So as students go through the game, we give them summaries of everything that's been going on with their account. So the total income they've been earning, all their expenses, both the kinds of bills that were coming up and the unexpected expenses they didn't necessarily see coming. And so they can use this information when they're doing their budgets for the next month to try to set a more realistic savings goal. Up at the top here, you can see the student does have their game score, they have their net worth, and they have a credit score. We do class rankings based on all of these metrics. So if the student goes to the rankings page for the budget game, they'll have an overall score, which is based on that aggregated game score, or they can sort it by the net worth or the credit score. So if you've used any of our stock games before, you'll know that the class rankings can be one of the most engaging parts of the platform, which is why we also put an emphasis on the ranking here. Students are all starting from the same place. They don't get the exact same kinds of random events each month, but they're usually not too far apart. So understanding how these are moving in relation to each other is a good way to use that class competition as a real emphasis to reinforce the learning aspect. Students also have access to all their bank statements. So if they go to statements at the top of the screen here, they'll show what their game score was at the end of each month. They'll show a checking account transaction history, savings account transaction history, and all of the transactions on their credit card as well. So as a teacher, you can also review all of this data. So there's tons of reports available for you. If you have used our assignments feature before, you'll also see that these are completely integrated into the assignments. So you can mandate your students, for example, to take care of their chores at least twice every 2 months. You can mandate that they complete 3 months of the budget game, every 2 weeks. So you can also use it really well as a homework assignment. It also connects to all the other parts of our Personal Finance Lab site. So this would connect with the stock game to let the students do everything in one account so they don't have to switch between 2 different things. It integrates with the assignments feature so you can assign reading and video assignments and all kinds of other stuff. Now, if you want to get the budget game for your class, the pricing is $15 per student if you want both our Personal Finance Lab stock game and budgeting game together. So if you're teaching a personal finance class that uses both of these things regularly, this is probably the best option. If you just want the budget game by itself, it's $10 per student. And if you have larger class sizes or you want to get more classes involved, we also have site licenses and bulk pricing available if you're looking at 100 students or more. So if you have any questions, you can contact me at kevin@personalfinancelab.com or visit our website at personalfinancelab.com where you can schedule a demo or get more information or just start ordering accounts. It's all right there on the page. But if you need a quote or if you'd like a hands-on personalized demo or you have questions for your class, just reach out and I'll be happy to help.